How's it going, guys? I'm Mythic. Call me Dan if you want. And what is this? If you're new to my channel, I haven't done one of these before. This is a game called Dota 2, which is, don't ask me about the history. There is a Dota 1, I believe. Dota 1 had, don't ask me. But I'm relatively new to this game, been playing for less than a month. But I have picked up quite a few tips and tricks, and I'm starting a series called This Is How I Play, or How I Play Faceless Void, as this is the one that I am playing currently. Now, I'm not too new to the game, but that should, I'm not too experienced at the game, but that should be to new players' advantage at the very least, because you'll be going through the same learning process that I am, and I've played 20 to 30 games with Faceless Void, so I have a good grasp on how he works and everything he's capable of. So I'm going to give a sort of tutorial here. Now what you're about to see me do is, or at least attempt to do, is a creep block. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it's basically where my walking speed is slower than that of the creeps. The creeps have 325, whereas I have 300. And my goal in this was to walk in front of them and make them go 300. And the end result would be our creeps are closer to our tower than theirs, whereas they are normally relatively in the middle. So this prevents, or at least attempts to prevent them from getting to the middle. If the advantage of them being at our tower, I'll let this play out here for a second before I continue. The advantage of them being at our tower allows us to have the cover of the tower while trying to kill the other team. Now, this is a level 1 gank, and I ended up dying from this. Now, I'm going to attempt to bring games of both sides of me winning and losing, and I'm not going to reveal what happens at the end. Of course, I have first death. That's not something to be proud of, but what you see me do there is a very important thing. I bought a teleport scroll and got right back into the action. Now, how I've usually been playing Faceless Void is I will attempt, if I get 2,050 gold, enough to buy the Hand of Midas, within the first 8 or 9 minutes. Typically, if it's at the 8-minute mark, if I don't have it, then I won't get it. And what that does is it gives you 30 attack speed extra, which is pretty good. But it also has an active, which every 100 seconds, I believe, you can use the active on an enemy creep or jungle creep, non-ancients. And it will kill them instantly and give you 290 gold, which really adds up. It'll pay for itself in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not sure if you use it every time that the cooldown is off. And that gold really starts to add up and will benefit you towards buying the rest of your items. Now, Faceless Void has an endless array of items that he can buy to just basically allow him to solo the entire other team, and you'll see sort of what that can entail later on. So right now it's an attempt to just last hit all of the other creeps is what I want to do. What you're seeing me doing, glitching around and waving like a madman, that's a tactic you'll see a lot in the pros and probably a lot of pub matches. There's the Hand of Midas, by the way. And I'm just going to buy the, what is this? Gloves of Haste, which is 15 attack speed. That's just going to help me. I'm going to get the Gloves of Haste either way, whether it be with my power boots, power treads, or the Hand of Midas. So it's definitely worth getting there. But, and I'll tell you what I did wrong. Now, I already had 1 death, and I had 500 gold 3 minutes in. That's almost halfway to what my goal was supposed to be, only having 500 gold when I wanted to have 1,000. Usually means I wanted to get the Poor Man's Shield instead. Poor Man's Shield is going to block a load of damage from the other team, get you bonus agility. You'll be able to last hit your creeps better, maybe gank them, and definitely use less of your tangos and healing salves. Like, I'm using tangos like crazy over here because they are harassing as much as they can. Quick word about what we're playing against. This is a 5 versus bots. This is a random, I just went in solo. I've been playing Faceless Void quite a bit, and went solo into a hard bots match. I find you don't want to do unfair. If you've ever played one game of unfair, you realize why it's called unfair. Though the hard is quite a challenge. Going in as a new player, you will be destroyed. You can't just go in. One person is not going to be able to take out a team. If you play on easy, it doesn't really matter how your teammates are doing. You're going to be able to win the match. But the hard bots have a lot of coordination. They will deny towers, deny their own creeps, as you see right there. And they'll attack your creeps like crazy, go for level 1 ganks, go for the runes, everything. And they have instant reflexes better than any humans you will see. I have this ability called Time Walk, which I'll talk about in just a second, which allows me to basically teleport a short distance away. And if I teleport into their team and they have stuns, it doesn't matter. They will recognize that I teleported the instant that I teleport. Unless I have Black King Bar, which makes me immune to their magic, the hard bots are going to lay stuns on me like crazy, and I won't be able to get my Chronosphere off in the middle of their team. So that's a tactic that you could use in a tournament and pro match, online pubs, but you can't use in hard bots very often, and that's just the nature of the game. So I find hard bots is a great form of practice for public matches. That's normal, not ranked. I haven't gone into the ranked matchmaking yet, mainly because I haven't had a 5 team to go with. And I'm level almost 20 in this game, so I still have a ways to go. You can start ranked matchmaking at 13. So I'm going to talk about my build here really quickly in the way of skills. My first point was in Time Walk. That's a quick escape. You have 700 range, and it will get you out of, or it will at least attempt to get you out of any ganks that you see. On level 1, of course, I was stunned, and that was just unfortunate. I couldn't use the Time Walk. I think I was spam clicking trying to get away, and that just didn't happen. So Time Walk, however, is very, very helpful. Backtrack, only get 1 level into it early on. That gives you 20% or a 10% chance to dodge, which doesn't seem like much, but it really adds up. The max is 25%, so you only have 2.5 times if you put it on the full max level. So maxing it early on isn't really a great choice. However, it is pretty good. The skill is very good. What I've been putting all my levels into is Time Lock. Time Lock's chance, once again, only goes up by 5% every level, but the bonus damage really adds up, and the stun can be the difference between a kill and a just slight hurt in a ganking go through, whatever, I can't think of the words. Now you see I'm at 8 minutes right here, and I realize there's no way I'm going to be getting my Hand of Midas, so I go ahead and get the Power Treads. Now, I could have gotten Poor Man's Shield, and had I thought of it earlier, I should have thought of it earlier to get it. I'm going to tell you what I do good and what I do completely awful to just improve in a game that you're playing. So I should have gotten the Poor Man's Shield. I might have been able to... I definitely would have taken less damage from them, used less consumables, and maybe have gotten a chance to kill some of them. Now, Vengeful Spirit had come over just a few seconds ago and killed one of them, which is really good. And that might have been the difference, because that pushed them completely out of our lane, allowing me to get more gold and not be harassed. And that was a big difference in this laning period. Now, laning period can tend to be very boring. Action picks up around level 9, 10, and 11. Level 9 or 10 is usually when I start going for the ancient creeps farming. I'm about to get my life healing. I forget what it's called. We'll see it. It's some sort of mask, and it provides lifesteal, a 15%, I believe, and that allows me to jungle. Here it is, right here. The Morbid Mask. It has a 15 lifesteal, which makes me never have to go back to base for health. I don't think I go back even once this game, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. So yeah, it provides me with full health, and I'm gonna lane. Usually try and lane. Once you get your mask, you can try and go jungle. I like to lane as long as there's not people harassing me until level 9, and then go for the ancient creeps. Faceless Void is all about getting the gold. You need loads and loads of gold. Your ganking abilities really only happen when you have Chronosphere available, and the cooldown on this, even at the max level, is 80. So that's popping it once, ganking a bit, and then going back to getting gold. And if you do that correctly, come the last 10-15 minutes of the match, you will be able to solo the entire team. If you get them all in your Chronosphere, it'll be game over for them. So that's what I should have done here: teleported and then pop my Chronosphere. That would have been the smart move to do. However, it's not the move that I did.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that's Chronosphere is the key part of Faceless Void. It's, I think, universally agreed upon as the greatest stun in the game, because it stuns every single person in the area of effect except for Faceless Void, and allows for tons of damage to be done. Often you'll see Faceless Void and Skywrath Mage paired together. Skywrath Mage's ultimate just lays thousands of damage on an area. But you can pair anything with this. The ultimate isn't that great for for melee characters, but if you're ranged, it really helps the team. So right now you see my power treads on heal or strength, and that's just, the strength is going to give me a couple hundred points towards my health. That makes me less squishy early on, and that's an important part. That extra 100 right here is well over 10% of your health, and can be the difference between life and death in a match. A lot of people will put them on agility, since Faceless Void is agility, to lane, and then put them back on power treads. I think the strength helps out, and I'm just gonna, it helps for health regen and health in general, so I just keep them on strength all the time. Now you see me over here, and my Chronosphere has 12 seconds left, and I believe I tell people that it's just about to be off of cooldown. And that's typically what you should do. If you alt-click any of your skills which have cooldown or mana, it'll tell your team how much that is, or how long that's going to be. Now, that was the Mask of Madness, or something to that degree. And it has 20% lifesteal with an active which gives you 30% extra moving speed, which helps a lot. But the main thing is it gives you 100 attack speed for 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds, which you pop every single time you go into Chronosphere. That extra attack speed is going to let you lay down the damage on anyone inside of your Chronosphere. And I'll just arrange it here real quickly, because that's how I like it. Let me say a second. But that mask is always the go-to right after boots. Get a quelling, or what is this? Yeah, quelling blade early on. You see me pop that just so my life steal, so I can kill them quicker, and my life steal is more effective. Now, if you have one mana regen, that's your base regen, you don't have to worry about the mana of this. Oftentimes you'll have a mana problem with Faceless Void. You really don't have to worry about that with Mask of Madness, because by the time it's ready to be popped again, you will have already regened the mana. Generally, however, the mana problem isn't really a problem, because the cooldown on your Chronosphere is long enough to regen any of the mana that you need. So, jungling here a bit, get as much gold as I need. Next I'm gonna buy the, I don't know the names of these things, but the static hammer, basically, which gives me extra attack speed. Attack speed is everything on Faceless Void, I can't stress that enough. You want attack speed like crazy, just so you can kill whoever you can. Maybe early on you want to target one guy and tell your whole team to target one guy within the Chronosphere. And when everybody attacks that, you have that guy down. And once you have static lightning, you're going to be hitting other people indirectly. And that's basically it. Now, that was lucky right there, to be able to get, to dive in and then get the Chronosphere off. Now, I am really low, and rather than going to base, I see that the fight's still going on, and I'm thinking, hey, maybe I can dive in and get a couple of extra hits, because I have lifesteal, which will really help, and that was a bad move. I wasn't at all thinking that there was a bounty hunter, and bounty hunter doesn't play too much of a role in the game, but he can be very powerful, and as you saw right there, he was the reason that I died. He had the tracker on him, and I'm just now seeing the trackers as I played the game from my perspective, obviously, not their side. So what I should have done is seen that whether I was there or not wouldn't have been much of an effect on the team. You could argue that I could have been helpful, but for the most part I would have either stolen one of their kills or just gotten killed, and obviously I got killed. So it's level 9. This is probably the earliest level. As long as you have the Mask of Madness, that's what it's called. As long as you have Mask of Madness, go ahead and get these Ancients at level 9. They're going to get you down pretty far. Once you get the main guy up, you'll heal more than you will lose. I mean, you saw I lost about half my health right there. And that's mainly, it's just good gold. Very, very good gold. Now my Chronosphere is almost up. I'm going to try and go in here, and I'm going into the jungle over on the side of the trees to try and do exactly what I did last time. That didn't work because they ran away. But I already have 1,500 gold again. The gold stacks up like crazy, even more so if you have the Hand of Midas. And I think somewhere around here, level 10 or 11 is usually when I start to Rosh. There are different characters that can Rosh at different levels. With my attack speed and lifesteal, I could solo Rosh. It's mainly the stuns that allow me to do so, but I could solo Rosh at about level 11. I typically like to have people around me though, just to kill it faster, because if you're caught there solo, you're done for. So we have a lot of us hiding in the forest, and most likely they would have come to attack had our other people not come out and tried to kill them. If it was only Legion, they would have said, hey, let's at least try and go for it. However, that didn't happen because
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
our other guys came out. Vengeful Spirit was getting, not Vengeful Spirit, what is this? Death Prophet was getting a little too greedy there.
Middle tower is under attack.
But we do have the rest of our team, and this is a good Chronosphere. The other guys are just walking into it, which is very bad practice, and we end up wiping nearly all of their team.
Tower is under
And
attack.
Razor's only alive because he was nowhere near the gank. So that's a great example of Chronosphere. All they don't have to be in it originally to be caught. If they just walk into it, which happens more than you would think, then they end up being caught, and having your whole team attack is devastating.
Regeneration.
So I see level 11 here, and I'm probably going to be spam clicking my map on the bottom right. The layout you see here, if you're not new to, if you're new to Dota, this is not the default layout screen. It's usually flipped on the bottom from what I have. But you see I'll pop my Mask of Madness and just attack, and that's about the extent of that. Anyway, the layout I have going here just flipped. I like it better. It's personal preference. Confuses me when people have it the other way. Probably is confusing you right now if you're not used to this layout. But so we're going for Roche. Typically, I like to get the Aegis. I often don't die. You don't see me dying very often. You won't see it, especially later in the game. Faceless Void has a great escape ability, and Chronosphere allows him to attack safely whenever he needs to. And there you'll see me buying the, I should look at what that is, I can check here. The Maelstrom, okay. So what that does, you'll see in a second, is it just it creates chain lightning on whatever you attack. Now our top tower, as you can see, is under attack. So is the bottom. I was going to help the bottom, but it looked like the tower and the creeps had that under control. And we have guys up top, so I decided to start farming the ancient creeps right here. You usually get 200 to 300 gold. 96 right there, and there's going to be over 50 from both of those. 82 and then 81. That is a load of gold for just 3 creeps, and you get it in a matter of seconds. And that makes a huge difference in the game. Never discount farming the creeps. There's 2. One's going to be right there. You can see on the bottom right, I'll highlight that. And the other one is right up around there. To the north of their middle tower and to the south of our middle tower. And those are the ancient creeps, which provide a load of gold. And you'll see me go over here as well, because we've got Warlock down. Bounty Hunter doesn't really have to be worried about, because if he tries to go, we have a whole team there. Bounty Hunter's not going to be too effective other than throwing his track, which won't do much. A Necrophos doesn't do much damage unless you're low on health. Razor is a big attacker, as is Vengeful Spirit, and you see me throw this down. Now I'm going against Necrophos, which I should be going against Vengeful Spirit. Luckily enough, we get both of them, but Vengeful Spirit was closer to my teammates. It would have, when you don't have huge communication like we did, we had mostly text communication with a little bit of talk. When you don't have loads of communication, you have to attack who's lowest, or who's closest to them, so everybody can get the sense of, hey, we need to attack him, get him down, and then we can go to the next. So I bought the Hyperstone, and now my attack speed is probably insane, 0.65 seconds per attack. right over by their tower. And this is very dangerous. I'm losing health pretty quickly, going right in the middle of their stuff, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
it proved to be beneficial. We got Warlock and then got Razor way down, which is going to take him out of the game for quite some time. Now there's a Vengeful Spirit running around. That doesn't matter too much. So the next item on my list is going to be the upgrade
Radiant's top tower is under
to
attack.
Maelstrom, which gives it combines the Hyperstone and gives you a load of attack speed, and it has the same static effect with upgraded stats, as well as gives you an active that you can put around yourself or a teammate to produce static charges just by being in the presence. And I typically put it on myself, as I'll be the one in the center of the Chronosphere, and I'm not really a support role. If I was a support role, if you see a support ever grabbing whatever the upgrade to that is, a support might throw it on the allies. However, I'm much more of a carry than a support, so I'll put it on myself. Now, that's the power of Time Walk. Time Walk's leveled up last because you really don't need it more than one level early on. It does have an attack slow and a movement slow, but that doesn't matter too much. Now I'm level 13 right now. I can take these and actually gain health. At level 9 or 10 or whenever I started, I was losing health. Right now I'm gaining. Now you saw recently I changed my power treads to agility from strength, and that's because my health is right around 1,000. I should have gone to level 14. It's usually level 13 or 14, which I switch because I want my health to be around 1,000. Keep my health around 1,000 and I should be fine. If they can get me down below 1,000, they're probably going to get that extra 100 or 200, and that starts being less and less of a percentage of my health, and the agility is going to count more with the attack speed and attack damage. Now, often I will be the initiator for all of the Roches, just because of my lifesteal and sheer attack speed. I'm going to... I don't die often, like I said, so the Aegis is going to be very negligible. However, when I do die, it helps out quite a bit. Now, I have my Chronosphere ready, and I see... who is that? Earthshaker? Or no, Lich right there. Lich does very well this game. Now, I'm going to say, I don't always... I'm not going to show you the games where I completely destroy the other team. That's not going to teach you how to learn very well. Now we're going to take a look at this Mogilliner or something to that degree. Basically, it puts a little sphere of static around you, and static damages people, or creeps and heroes around you. Back to what I was saying, I'm not going to show the best games that I come up with in this game, because that's not going to teach you how to play the game. Anybody could watch someone completely destroy. Oftentimes, if you were destroying in a match, it's a lot to do with your teammates rather than yourself, and teamwork is key in Dota. I can't stress that enough. If you go, typically what I do, bot matches are different, but if I go into a public match, it's when I'm with a full or almost full team, because communication is key. Now the bots have a load of communication, instant communication really, since they're computers, and that's difficult. But typically if someone's going into a hard bot match, they know what they're doing, whereas if you're going into all play, or definitely not limited heroes, but if you're going into one of those games, you might not have a good idea of what you're doing, so you're not going to play very well. Now, I'm standing way back in this because my Chronosphere is not ready. I could pop in, they would all target me expecting Chronosphere, because they don't know how long it's going to be, and I would die within an instant. I couldn't have done anything in there. Thankfully, we lost Legion of Commands. We only lost one, and got 3 of them, so that's a win on our part. Now, what I'm building to is the Black King bar. As you saw at the beginning, I was stunned and killed. That was my first death, and that put me back quite a bit. It probably prevented me. It was more the combo of Vengeful Spirit and Razor that prevented me from getting the Hand of Midas. But the Black King bar is going to make me immune to any magic damage or magic spells that they have. Now, this key, very, very key for oh gosh, Faceless voice, sorry. That time walking in and then chronosphering right away. If you have macros on your keyboard, make that a macro. You're going to be doing that constantly. Hiding in, it's basically like Pudge, where Pudge snags one, Faceless Void will teleport in and then pop the Chronosphere, and it makes it perfect. You could walk in, but they're going to see you, they're going to start running away, they're going to split up, you're not going to be able to get all of them. You want to be unseen, teleport in, and pop that Chronosphere as quickly as you possibly can. And with Black King bar, typically what you want to do is you hit Black King bar, teleport in, Chronosphere, and then their whole team is basically dead. By the time you have Black King bar, you've gotten way ahead in the game. Now, I have quite a few close calls in this. 100 health, there was nothing. If I stayed there, I would have died, and I couldn't have gone back. If that guy dies, there was nothing I could do to save him. I don't have my Chronosphere up. And this is what I'm talking about, the low mana pool. I'm not... Quelling Blade, a little quick tip. If you have a Quelling Blade and you keep it, because I have very few items on this hero, through the tree rather than going around. Those few seconds really add up. But this is another way to do it. Saves you a load of time just by going over like that. Anyway, the low mana, Chronosphere is now taking 200 HP. It might take a little bit less with Aghanim Scepter. However, I'm not a big fan of Aghanims on Faceless Void. It's less of a cooldown and longer of a duration. But if you can't kill the guys in the duration that you have, most likely you're not going to kill them with an extra second. It only provides an extra second, and it's 20 seconds less on the cooldown, which might actually hurt you more than it helps you, because you're not going to be able to regen your mana that quickly. Especially if you're trying to pop in, it's going to be 300 mana to teleport, or 290 to teleport in, and that pop your Chronosphere. So in 60 seconds, you're definitely not going to have that much mana. You might be wasting gold on trying to get mana regening items, which is going to hurt your attack speed, and overall, it's just not going to help your team. You want a lot of attack speed and a lot of damage, and you want area damage rather than just single target. So the game's going largely in our favor. We almost have twice as many kills. We do have twice as many kills as they do, with 2 of their towers down. The tower game, we only have 1 tier more than they do. However, that, as you can see right here, Razor has on his blade mail, and we're just eating through that like it's nothing. And this is really where the game is being decided. There's still key things to learn, however. Just constantly, whenever you're going to attack something, the Mask of Madness has a 25-second cooldown. You can pop that like crazy. It's not going to hurt you whatsoever. And you have to decide, do I want to be attacking these little stand towers over here, or attacking their team. A lot of the time, if my team has it under wraps, I'll just let them attack. But the games, we have one of their last tier towers here. The game's basically over. Had this not been bots, we probably wouldn't do this. You'll make a lot of people mad if you stand at their fountain and kill them. Unless they've been awful to you throughout the game, it's generally a good idea to stay away from this. But their Ancient is almost done, and you're gonna see this real quick. This is an awful move. I stunned everyone over there because I wanted to be able to get the godlike, and that's the game. So I'm playing Faceless Void. I hope this helps. This is my first game, so give me feedback, see what I can do. So yeah, see ya.